I've got one matcha latte delivery for a performative male. I'm doing Movember, all right? Every so often you come across something so vile, so interesting, so intriguing, so tantalizing that you just sit there and think to yourself, I should make a YouTube video about this. Now, that's never happened to me, but hypothetically, if it did, it would definitely be for the YouTube channel Lasagna Cat. To the naked eye, this seems like a harmless, fun channel. But if you tell your eye to please put some clothes on, you'll see that this is one of the most disturbing channels on YouTube, primarily due to their most recent, most popular video. That's nearly 5 hours long. Allow me to explain. If it's not immediately obvious, Lasagna Cat is about Garfield, that one orange cat from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. But it's not from the minds behind Garfield. It's from the people over at Fatal Farm. I'm not sure if I was just living under a rock, but I had never heard of Fatal Farm prior to scripting this video. I was introduced to Lasagna Cat, then Fatal Farm from there. However, they've worked on a lot of really cool projects, including some Key and Peele sketches. They've directed some I Think You Should Leave sketches, collaborated with the Lonely Island crew, done some commercials, including that new Minecraft and Ice Cube one, and made some Adult Swim specials. And even in a lot of those, that kind of disturbing humor comes out. Quickly, I think I should address the elephant in the room. That's not an elephant! A lot of what I talk about and recommend to watch is for mature audiences. So if later in this video, I say, you should go watch this, I'm specifically talking to people old enough to watch it. For most of their stuff, we're talking 18 plus. Additionally, I will not be able to show a lot of the pivotal points of their content, partly because it uses copyrighted music, but mostly because, and sorry I keep reiterating this point, it's super disturbing. And I want you to be able to watch this video while still being able to sleep at night. So Fatal Farm was founded by these two sickos. I'm joking, of course, they're not sickos. They're actually really cool. Sorry, I sometimes just let my emotions get the best of me. Like sometimes when I'm out in public, I cry listening to Phoebe Bridgers reading my feminist literature I pulled out of my tote bag. Some of their sketches I had seen before, but one of my favorite things I found from them recently has to be this fake infomercial for a product called Smart Pipe. If you enjoy weirder humor, then I absolutely recommend giving this a full watch. After you finish this video, they do a perfect satire of infomercials, try to convince you of a problem you don't have. They do such a good job that even I'm sitting there knowing it's not real, thinking, a pipe that scans your shit?
Why didn't I think of that?
And then partway through the infomercial, they stop talking about what the pipe does and instead pivot to the legality of taking photos of your ass. More specifically, storing photos of younger people.
That means yes, a scan is performed on that child's anus.
Every single actor in this sketch is phenomenal. The CEO being a little too on the nose with what he's trying to say in this ad, this influencer, but my personal favorite, this guy.
How could the government get it so wrong?
He is simply great. He nails the overly interested, clearly paid to be their spokesperson. Given how positively he reacts to everything he's being told and then reiterates that point to the viewer and blatantly leads into the next topic while trying to subliminally trick you into thinking what they're saying isn't crazy.
Yeah, he's catching me up to speed on all the hoops you have to jump through because of our broken Congress.
It's hilarious. So that's Fatal Farm, and you can debate me on this, but I think their magnum opus is Lasagna Cat, which some separate into 2 seasons, but personally, I like to separate into 2 eras. First, the great tributes of 08, and then the what the f did I just watch era of 2017. Let's start with the tributes of 08. They posted their first ever video in November of 2007, titled Lasagna Cat, which I will play for you now.
I hate Mondays, but I love lasagna.
Hey! Who ate all my lasagna?
Me.
Nice and simple. Little confusing, but simple. I think it's acting as a teaser for their upcoming project, which eventually came out January 14th, 2008. That project? 27 videos, all with the same structure. They would all be titled after a date. For example, 08, 18, 1978. Then they would do a live action reenactment of the comic strip that came out on that date, followed by a laugh track, then showing the original comic. Then, madness. It's different every single time. It really just feels like they were sitting there like, first idea that comes into your head, go! It's Garfield, but it's an RPG retro style video game. Done, let's do it. That's the basic gist. Reenact, show original, do something tangentially related to the comic with music in the background, and then end it with a picture of Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, highlighting that this whole thing is meant to be a tribute to him. A lot of these are really fun.
I've decided to grow a mustache.
I suppose I could blame this on Monday.
Why'd you cut back to me? And some of them fall into that eerily disturbing category. Both of the founders are actually actors in Lasagna Cat. Jeffrey Max plays John Arbuckle, and Zachary Johnson, the other founder, plays Odie. I found that out looking at their extremely well-regarded IMDb page, but for the life of me, I can't figure out who plays Garfield. As far as I can see, no one is credited for playing Garfield. Personally, this just adds to that overall unnerving feeling this channel gives me, because I don't know who's under that mask. Well, that basically covers the tributes of 08. It's a little more directionless, feels more like one-offs to tribute Jim Davis. I think it mostly acts as the groundwork for what's to come, that being the what the f did I just watch era of 2017. If you haven't done the maths in your head yet, 9 years after posting their last video, they posted not one, but 3 teasers for something called Sex Survey Results, which, spoiler alert, is that really long video I mentioned. After those 3 teasers, they posted a full trailer for the upcoming episodes titled, I'm not going to read that, but it's a phone number in which you're told to call that number, state your name and how many partners you've had, and then don't ask any questions. No one knew why they did this, but they did. Now, before you ask what happens when you call that number 8 years later, I asked the same question.
Your call could not be connected. Please check the number and try again. Your call could not be connected.
So they released season 2 of Lasagna Cat. And let me just say this. This is what it's about. Clear increased budget. They all get weirder, but somehow more concise. Like everything that happens is really unexpected, but still clearly related to the comic. These are actually amazing. My personal favorite has to be 12/04/1980, where Garfield and Odie watch the fight scene that they made while talking in an AOL chat room. It's great. Believe it or not, that final video that had been teased is actually not their highest rated episode. Rather, it's the first episode of the new season, 07/27/1978, where they reenact maybe the most widespread Garfield comic of all time, the Now Where Could My Pipe Be? Garfield comic. This has been in the zeitgeist for a while, being the subject of many memes and recreations. This video features John Barrymore recounting his personal experience with the comic, then delving into the complexities and global influence that this comic had. However, unlike the usual half a minute to 5 minute runtime that these have, this video is an hour long, no cuts. What sane person wants to listen to a guy in a chair just yap? No offense. Clearly a lot of people want to, including me. Look at these ratings. And while being mostly satirical, he actually has a really good point. I think this video really highlights what they're trying to convey in these tributes. Even ending with the Oscar Wilde quote, "It is through art and through art only that we can realize our perfection." It also brings forth the question, what is art? Well, that video, that nearly 5-hour video, I think helps me answer that very question. I'll stop stalling. You've waited long enough. You know all the context. Let's take a look at it. What we know so far is that they were conducting a survey, asking people to call up, state their name, followed by how many sex partners they've had. We didn't ask any questions. We just did it. Then this video came out. People finally got to see what they were up to. It starts with a really well representation of John Arbuckle's house as he sits down to read the paper, with the front page making fun of anyone who called. Then John gets a knock at the door. He opens it to find a mannequin who says,
"Hey, my name's Garrett Smith, and I have had exactly 0 sex partners."
So if it's not immediately obvious, that is a voice recording of someone who called up and answered the questions. He stated his name and number of sex partners. Then it zooms out to reveal that it was a comic strip We see John and Garrett in the comic, and Garfield is the one reading it. Then Garfield gets a knock on the door.
Jaden Gitchell.
Jaden Gitchell, who?
Different mannequin, different phone call. Then, once again, it zooms out to reveal it's Odie reading this time. Then he gets a knock at the door. Now we've gone through all three characters. So what's next? It zooms out and it's John again. And they keep rotating, asking who's there, answering the door. It's a different person. They play the full phone recording, some of them going for multiple minutes, slowly getting later and later in the day. So it's the same three things over and over again. The same three things over and over again. Sound familiar?
That's the point!
I think that's the point they're trying to make. The repetitive nature and longevity of Garfield. A little disappointing, but that wasn't disturbing. The video's not over. 4 hours, 33 minutes into the video. There's a slightly different knock on the door.
Who's there?
John Arbuckle.
John Arbuckle. Who? John Arbuckle. 2. John Arbuckle 0.
Garfield and I are very dissimilar in many ways. I look forward to Monday mornings, and I'm an optimist, whereas Garfield is a pessimist.
You're probably already starting to feel that dread and uncanniness that comes with this video. And if you don't know who's talking in the background, that's an interview with Jim Davis talking about Garfield, as these two mannequins drop off this briefcase, which he then opens on a bus to find a taxidermied orange cat. Also, John is slowly deteriorating as the video continues. Suddenly he's on these rocks confronted with this guy who turns him into worms and dirt. And then this is where I'm going to stop showing and start telling. I don't know how this video is on YouTube. Not only is this guy hanging brain, but a full-on birth occurs in this bathroom, who afterwards it's hinted to be John Arbuckle, who the mother who leaves him there says in Polish that he is the devil and this is hell. Then that cat from before is seen next to him. What are my thoughts on this? I have seen this video twice. Not the full thing, just that end part. And I will likely be subjected to watching it again while putting together this video. Let me just say this. I never want to see this video again. It actually makes me feel sick. I feel extreme discomfort watching it. I retreat back by impulse. However, it's because of that response, I can confidently say that this video is a piece of art, and there's no other way of putting it. I think people often misinterpret art as an idea, but I think the simplest definition is evokes strong feelings. People tend to lean towards good feelings, but it doesn't have to be. Horror movies make you scared. Radiohead reminds you that you get no bitches, and that makes you sad. AI generated content makes you feel nothing, because that's not art. To quote Zelda Williams, you're not making art, you're making disgusting, overprocessed hot dogs out of the lives of human beings, out of the history of art and music, and then shoving them down someone else's throat, hoping they'll give you a little thumbs up and like it. Gross. Stop calling it the future. AI is just a badly recycled and regurgitating the past to be reconsumed. You are taking in the human centipede of content, and from the very, very end of the line, all while the folks at the front laugh and laugh, consume and consume. So while I don't enjoy watching this, I can really appreciate it. There's something I heard Shane Topp mention that I really agree with. It's the overlap between horror and comedy. I think a great example is Jordan Peele making Get Out, a very comedy-centric person making a really well-regarded horror film. And it's because of the ability to understand timing. Both the comedy genre and the horror genre require timing to really be impactful. So these two guys, these two funny guys, are incredible at making me scared, because there's no other way to put it. It's art. Lasagna Cat should be placed right next to the Mona Lisa. It's simply a masterpiece. So next time someone asks you, what's art? You just answer, Lasagna Cat. Before you go searching for another video to watch, how about you watch this video from me about the entirety of the Despicable Me franchise. Alternatively, this one. Alright, bye.